Welcome to the Idiot Box. This is day shift. After seeing a man leaving a nearby house, pool cleaner Bud silently breaks in and set up a tripwire and searches the apartment. He is confronted by an old woman.
Where's Michael?
The old woman turns out to be a vampire. The vampire attacks Bud. After a lengthy fight, he kills the vampire. But another vampire comes and is decapitated by the wire, and Bud shoots him. It is revealed that Bud is a vampire hunter. He collects the fangs of the vampires, but because of the job, he gets late in picking up her daughter Paige from school. His ex-wife Jocelyn is planning to move to Florida due to money issues, but Bud convinces her to give him some time to come up with the money. In order to pay the tuition fees, Bud goes to a pawn shop to sell the vampire fangs, but the prices that Troy, the pawn shop's owner, offers are not enough to help him with his money troubles. Bud decides to go to the vampire hunting union. Meanwhile, a vampire named Audrey finds the vampires that Bud killed. Bud enlists his friend, John Elliott, to help him rejoin the union. The union boss, Ralph Seeger, initially refuses him, as he had been previously kicked out of the union due to his risky and aggressive hunting style. He eventually is given a final chance, but must work under strict conditions. He must only work the day shift, which does not pay well, and he must also be supervised by a union rep named Seth. Seth is tasked to look for and report any violations committed by Bud. While searching for the man who killed the older of the two vampires, Audrey finds, tortures, and interrogates Troy before she kills him. She reveals that humans used to worship vampires as gods, and she has plans to recreate the old god worship hierarchy. Bud and Seth go hunting and discuss about types of vampires. They come upon a group of vampires in a bowling alley, and Bud kills them. Seth pukes after having watched the carnage and realizes he wet his pants. Bud drops Seth to his house and gives him a self-made compound and asks him to bath with it to remove the stench of dead vampires so that other vampires don't smell them.
Don't get into your butthole.
What happens in the butthole?
Can't kill you, but Jesus Christ.
Bud steals a journal from Seth's bag and reads the note Seth made on his violations. While returning home, Bud runs into his new neighbor Heather and welcomes her to the building. The next day, Bud picks up Seth, who tells him about his horrifying experience with the compound.
Got a little bit of that yellow stuff in my butthole. It's so much worse than what you even described.
Bud confronts Seth about his notes and asks him for a couple of days. The duo visits Troy's pawn shop and find Troy's dead body and Bud's name made out with his teeth. Seth wants to report the murders, but refrains from doing so after learning of Bud's aim to support his family with his earnings. Bud returns home and notices a shady character in Heather's apartment. The next day, Seth and Bud canvass a neighborhood and team up with Nazarian Brothers, another set of strange vampire hunters.
What's the garlic for?
Any vamp gets close to me, I spit in their eye, melt hole in their fucking head. Bro, you got any more gum?
They dispatch a number of vampires at a house, but soon realizes that the place is a nest, and a number of vampires come out of the walls and attack them, and a lengthy fight ensues. The group kills the rest of vampires and Seth pees his pants again.
It's kind of my thing.
Seth realizes that the nest is full of different classes of vampires, which is highly unusual.
These types of vamps would never choose to live together.
Later, Bud takes her daughter to a birthday party, where he gets a call from Audrey, who threatens his family. Bud soon realizes that he is being followed. He takes his daughter and rushes to his ex-wife to save her while being pursued by vampires. Bud kills most of his pursuers and escapes. But he fails to reach her in time. His family is taken hostage by Audrey, and Seth is turned into a vampire. The turned Seth is now hungry and attacks Bud, but he quickly decapitates him. Seth is not killed as he is made by Uber Vampire and can't die even after being decapitated. Now set on rescuing his family, Bud and Seth visits Heather, who turns out to be a vampire and tells them that she also wants revenge as she was turned against her wish. She also reveals that the old vampire that Bud killed in the beginning of the movie was Audrey's daughter.
When she came over, she had a little girl that she had to leave behind, so by the time they went back, found her, and turned her, she was old.
The trio attacks Audrey's stronghold. There, they are joined by John. The four split up, with Bud and John going further into the lair, while Heather and Seth stay back to cover them. During the fight, John gets bitten and chooses to sacrifice himself so that Bud can save his family. Audrey dispatches his right-hand man, Klaus, to kill Bud, but he is interrupted when Seth and Heather arrive. The two vampires hold Klaus while Bud makes his way to Audrey. Bud is no match for Audrey. Meanwhile, Seth and Heather are able to take out Klaus by ripping him apart. Audrey is an uber vampire who can't be killed like normal vampires.
Wood to the heart, silver to the neck.
He tricks her during the fight and gains the upper hand, killing her and saving his family. When the Union boss arrives on scene, Seth helps Bud stay in the Union by citing protocol to justify his actions. As the Jablonski family drives away, John climbs out of a sewer manhole, having survived the fight. And that was Day Shift. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe for more.